And race number 3, further Class 4 racing here, but we are over the 1,200 metres for this one, and a post time for it is 7:45. And we've got G-Liner at the top of the book on the class drop, making his Happy Valley debut with the tongue tie going on. Like that's up in trip from the 1,000 to the 1,200. E-Universe has been beaten narrowly at his last 2 starts. Super Elite's drawn barrier 12 again. Tactical Command makes his Happy Valley debut. Better draw for Super Dobbin. Young Life Forever dropped back to the 1,200 last time and nearly won. And Sure Joyful has placed 4 from 8 course and distance. Tom, of course, there was a scratching here with Chung Fat replaced by Happy Soul.
And he jumps from barrier number 10. G-Line, you can see, is going to be caught wide potentially from barrier 11, but the pace should be good. Like that from barrier 2, and E-Universe out of the barrier 8 to come across for Hugh Bowman. Harmony and Home won't be far away. Super Dobbin, Paul, he's got barrier 1, but he's been terribly out of form for a long time.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? His last gallop wasn't too bad. I think Young Life Forever will get a nice run midfield. Sure Joyful can follow him in. Super Elite will have to go back, I think.
Before we hear some more from the boys, E-Universe is on the door to win a race. Here's Hugh Bowman with Nick.
Hugh, E-Universe is one of your rides on Wednesday. It looks a winning chance now. He's getting closer with every run, isn't he?
Well, he's going really well, Nick. He's a very consistent horse. He's proven that since he began his career here in Hong Kong, and he's raced well at Happy Valley. Would have preferred a little bit of a more inside draw with him, but he's got good tactical pace and does it pretty well, and he's really knows his job, so looking forward to riding him again.
I guess last time the last thing you wanted to see was Harry Bentley on your outside on that winner Happy Trio, but your horse, I mean, he was very good in defeat, wasn't he?
Well, he was good, and like I said, he's just been a model of consistency. Yeah. I love the effort that he puts in, and he's got a good brain about him. He's got the tactical speed that is such an advantage of the Happy Valley course, and you know, he's just knocking on the door and he's waiting for his turn, and hopefully Wednesday night's the night.
He confirmed that well-being with a recent trial as well, finished 3rd in that. He looked good and seemingly improving with all the experience.
Well, he's ticking over nicely, and, you know, I mean, I've spoken about him before, and his early trials here in Hong Kong were questionable to say the least, but since he's got to the races, he's just gone up and up and up, and he really is just waiting for his turn to win the race, and hopefully it's this week.
So, talking of going up, Hugh, he's got an extra 3 pounds to carry. Now, we know he's not overly big, but I guess for what he is doing and the consistency that he's racing with, he's always going to get that little bit of a burden added to him. I guess we don't know until we try with that weight going.
Well, my opinion with that is that the 2 or 3 pounds isn't going to hurt him, but he might find if and when he does win and he goes up a considerable amount, it might start to take to effect. But he might be a horse that's effective up in class and down in weight. But look, he's got a couple of wins in him, there's no doubt about it.
Hugh Bowman on the Manfred Mann E-Universe there. Some of the opposition include the following horses, and we're going to look at the replay now, Tom, of Travel Golf. This was his best run in Hong Kong, and Sure Joyful's never too far away over the 1,200.
No, he just hasn't won, and he's sort of floating around the bottom of the handicap here, and he was caught wide, and I thought he stayed on pretty well, but it was a big run here from Travel Golf. He was slow out, closed strongly from the rear, but he hasn't got a very good strike rate here well, for a couple of seasons now, Paul, the trainer. 2.7% is winning strike rate, didn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't he? So, look, it was a good run, though, from Travel Golf. It's just whether he can do it 2 in a row.
Next up, Paul, we've got further Happy Valley form here, and you were a bit keen on Speedy Chariot, and the further they went, the better he looked, didn't he? Yeah,
definitely. I made him the long shot here as well. Look, they're keeping him over the 1,200 metres. Here, Speedy Chariot. He's by Sakanto, so maybe a bit further will be better in time. But look, I like the way he hit the line. I'm going to include him once again.
He was 13-1 at his debut over the 1,200 metres, then they dropped him back to the 1,000. I think he's still looking for a bit further, and I just wondered if barrier 9 was totally ideal for him as well.
What about Young Life Forever then, Tom? 1650 recently, but tried over the 1,200 and all but beat Happy United.
He really came strongly late in the piece, did Young Life Forever, and he did cover a bit of ground in this race as well. Paul really dashed home strongly late in the piece. Course and distance, just this one placing. I thought he might have won a race by now, this horse.
Yeah, me too. Look, ideally he'd won a 1,400 metre Happy Valley race, wouldn't he? Which he's not going to get, obviously. But look, he finished off strongly enough. I've included him once again. He's quite consistent. He's somewhere in between the 1650 and the 1,200 would be ideal.
Start at the winning post and do a full lap around Happy Valley's what he wants.
Exactly.
Not a bad field. Who did you settle for?
I've gone for the 4 on top here. I think he's going really well, this horse, at the moment, and I made him the best of the afternoon. I reckon he can really win this evening even. He's on top. The 11 Young Life Forever for second. Like, that's a really well rated horse. He's one off 65. He's down to this 58 rating, and Speedy Chariot, another one, be hitting the line strongly. 411, 310.
A Universe on top for me as well. There's a few other horses that have got a few more convictions than him next to their names, and he's only lightly tried and he's improved with each and every start. So he's on top. A Universe over Travel Golf. There's been clear market support for him in his last couple now, so expecting another good run. It's Vincent Ho this time for Dinner Ship. Young Life Forever and Sure Joyful. I've always had time for Sure Joyful. The other one I didn't get in was Happy Soul, but 4, 5, 11 and 12.
And for triple punters, race number 3 is the first leg of the new Early Triple.